the coaching, I both coached Griffin and Dylan in youth football, but that had just ended. It was Dylan's season had just ended, and when Griffin passed away, and so then, as I said, my mom, she had prior to Griffin passing away, though, it was a Mother's Day, actually the day after Mother's Day that very year, she found out she had stage 4 uterine cancer. And so she survived just a lethal surgery where they removed a lot. And so she somehow survived that, only to 8 months later pass away. And so there was kind of a rough time there where, for me, it felt like everybody was going, nobody was coming.
Yeah.
And so, that led me to a serious bout of depression, to the point where in August of 2015, I actually shot myself and in the head, underneath the chin, and with the intention of not being here. And so as I look back now, everything I didn't have to live for, I now have to live for. And so it was just a period of time where life was tough. And it was, once you get down, what my experience is, once I got down that low, it didn't feel like it was ever going to end, and unless I ended it.
Hey everybody, it's Aldo Gandhi, and I just want to let you know really quickly that our swag shop is reopened. DeepDishTees.com is where you go, and that's tees with T-E-E-S. Clever name, guys. They're the new home of our merchandise. You can get t-shirts, you can get caps, you can get coffee mugs, you can get hoodies, you can get all sorts of good stuff, and you'll help out the bar room with the purchase. So head over to DeepDishTees.com.
You're listening to the Ballroom Network. The following program is intended for all audiences. Welcome to the South Burbs Hitmen podcast with your hosts, Joe Mandel, Steven Zim Zimmerman, Vinnie Parisi, and Chris Gonzalez. We're bringing you the White Sox coverage you need from the perspective of true Southsiders. Grab your Kaminsky dog with an ice cold beer and meet us in section 155. Everyone get on your feet for your 2021 South Burbs Hitmen.
That ball hit deep. Way back. You can put it on the board. Yes. Jimenez in the air. Left field. He's your hero tonight. Thanks, Cubs. Over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws. Out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Alexei! Yes! 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 History! A perfect game by Mark Burley, and what an unbelievable play by Dwayne White.
First pitch starts now.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to South Burbs Hitmen. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Mandel, and I'm joined by my White Sox brothers in arms. I'm talking about Vinnie Parisi and Chris Gonzalez. Steven Zim Zimmerman can't be with us tonight, but he's with us in spirit, as are the Chicago White Sox. Gentlemen, what a wild evening last night. The blackout was in full force. The White Sox came to play, and we have a series now against the Astros. Game 4 got rained out today, pushed to tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Time. Vinny and Chris, are you guys ready for Game 4? And how exciting was the blackout? Vinny, I'll let you start.
That was the best sporting event I've ever been to in my entire life. And that probably sounds like recency bias, but when you think about it, like what could I have gone to? Like I didn't go to any Stanley Cup final games. Like I watched them all on TV, but like I wasn't in attendance for any of them. I was too young for any of the Bulls stuff. Obviously the Bears have stunk my whole life. That White Sox game last night was as electric as anything I've ever attended. It was the loudest. It was the loudest I've ever heard a building, and it was just so much fun. They went down early, like kind of bad, 5-1. 5-1 is like not where you want to be early in a playoff game, especially one where you're facing elimination. And they showed up to play after that, and everyone's chanting Sox in 5. I see Vincent in the chat. Like that's what you want. That's what they need. We all knew it'd be hard to win a game in Houston. They haven't yet. Got to go out and win one more, but they set themselves up to do it with the way they played yesterday.
They certainly did. It was electric. The bats are hot, and that's what we need going into tomorrow. Chris Gonzalez, I know you weren't able to be in the building, but you still got to watch the game. Talk to us a little bit about that experience. How wild did it look on TV? Because I haven't watched it back on television yet.
On TV on the FS, channel, I know we had our issues with FS, but I got to say, Brzezinski, I thought did a better job than the first game that we saw him on there. But I can say, Joe, I'm jealous of you and Vinny because it's a long time waiting, those 13 years getting to that moment, going through the whole rebuild. And you just get those goosebumps. And especially when I go back and look at all the clips from the, game on Twitter, I just get those goosebumps going through me, especially listening to Giolito mic'd up and Timmy mic'd up. And I can only imagine being there. And I'm really hoping that, at one moment, whenever the next opportunity comes, I can be there because I'd love to be there in the moment and experience that like you guys did. Yeah, I mean, we have another one coming too. So I hope, both of you guys get your voices back because we're going to need it tomorrow. I'm not going to be able, obviously, to be there to watch it, but hope I can catch the end of it. But I just imagine it's going to be amazing. And I'm so glad that, our boy, Bake, their manager, Dustin is doing one hell of a job to put us in position to get us to Houston by starting McCullers on the road. I'm excited to see that. It's going to be a duo between him and Rodon. I imagine it's going to be a bullpen game, and with the way that Dusty's been handling the bullpen, I'm liking our odds. And Houston's calling us, and we're going to be there. And it's going 5, boys. Sox in 5.
Sox in 5. The chat room agrees. I do want to ask you guys one question because, we do have a surprise guest coming on in 10 minutes. And if you don't know who it is, you saw her on the big screen a lot last night at the Sox game. Our good friend Alyssa Bergamini will be joining us here in the next 10 minutes or so. So stay tuned for that. But I wanted to ask you guys real quick. Vinny, I'll specifically ask you, and Gonzo, you can chime in. Did we get in Dusty Baker's head to have him start McCullers here in Chicago? Because personally, I think that benefits us. We can hit him. We hit better at home. We play better at home. You're going to throw your best pitcher against us and try to prevent us from going back to Houston, where if you are in Houston, McCullers is even better against us out there. Am I overthinking this, or did we pull one over Dusty with the mind games?
It's possible. Tony La Russa lost the White Sox the game on Friday. Dusty Baker lost them the game yesterday, because I don't understand how you take a guy out in the middle of an at-bat and then Leury Garcia hits a bomb and now all of a sudden the White Sox are winning. I was stunned to find out that McCullers was starting tomorrow for a couple reasons. I agree with you. I think the White Sox got in his head. He's like, oh boy, these guys aren't messing around. That's a good team. If we don't throw our best, we're going to go back to Houston. Well, then if you go back to Houston, then you don't have McCullers. And like one of your best home field advantages is gone. And it's probably going to be seeing Dusty work the bullpen again, which obviously is something that favors the White Sox. It also is interesting to me because if they win, which obviously if they win, they'll be happy they advanced. But then you won't have McCullers available for game 1 of the American League Championship Series against what looks like is going to be the Boston Red Sox currently lead 5-3 over the Tampa Bay Rays. So,
Yeah.
Regardless or something how that goes, I just think facing McCullers at home is a significant difference than facing him on the road. They are 0-2 against him so far this season, and it's one in each building. But my thought is, if you can't beat McCullers a third time, you don't deserve to advance.
Next round.
You don't deserve to advance. You won't beat Bueller. You're not going to face Glasnow, but there are those types of pitchers on the Rays. Eovaldi's on fire for the Red Sox if it's them who advance. We all know about the Brew Crew's pitching staff with Woodruff and Burns and all them. The Braves have guys like Fried. You're going to face aces, and you got to beat some aces. Win a 3-2 ball game. So, big test tomorrow. Lance McCullers Jr., you can't beat him a third time. You don't deserve to advance. So, we'll see if the White Sox can bring that noise and energy. I know it's a day game again, but bring that noise and energy and make Dusty Baker think twice about keeping McCullers out there. Make McCullers think twice about throwing certain pitches. Give the White Sox a boost to maybe hit better against them. They put up 12 runs yesterday. How can we expect the top 6 to just go quietly now? Come on, guys. They can beat this guy. They've beaten good pitchers.
They certainly can. And McCullers has had some starts this year where he's had rough games. I had him in fantasy in a couple times this year. He got roughed up pretty good. So he's not invincible. And I think the White Sox proved that yesterday, that this team is awake. And this is when you want to get at a guy like that, when those bats are hot. We got a great question here in the chat. Do you think the extra day off helps the White Sox or hinders them? Gonzo, I'll toss this one to you. But this could make Lance Lynn available towards the tail end of this game tomorrow. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, it only helps them, especially with the Sox going to the bullpen early in Game 3 with Cease struggling in the second inning. Now, you know how you give your whole bullpen a day of rest. And to Houston's credit, Christian Javier, he got some big outs for them that saved their bullpen in Game 3. So I don't think, they have any benefits for the extra day in Houston. But especially with the Sox, staying Game 4 at home, it only helps us give us an extra day to get the bullpen arms ready to go. Because, like I just said prior, I really believe it's going to come down to the bullpen in the end in this Game 4 late in the game. Because end of the day, I think, Rodon and McCullers are going to go the distance. You're going to hand it over to probably, if not a tie game, a 1 or 2 run game. And it's going to come down to whose bullpen can settle down both teams' offensive bats. And to really go back to what you guys were talking before with Dusty, I don't think we're in his head. I just think he's the ultimate choker, and he's doing his best. He's doing his best to get us. I love it. Get us to Houston. And it really, I'm dumbfounded really when it comes down to this decision of his. I'm not sure if he's trying to pull one on us, but in the end of the day, you want your ace at home. I don't know why you're going to throw him on the road, especially when we have the scouting report. When he's ahead in the count, he's going to throw that slider away, and when he's going to try to, when he's going to try to strike you out, he's going to throw that curveball. So you know what's coming. I'm happy he's going to throw him on the road and in a hostile environment, and with how our boys just did in Game 3, they're fully ready. And I just see this as, a moment where Tim and the boys are going to say, throw your best because we're ready. We're ready for them, and we're going to take this. And we're coming to Houston, and all we have to do is win one on the road. That's all you have to do is win one on the road. And it's not the first time we had to win a big game on the road in the playoffs in Houston.
Yeah.
Already done that.
Well, you had to win. You had to win on the road to advance anyway after going down 0-2. So let's do it. Also, and Vinny, chime in, man.
Lance Lynn was available last night in the bullpen. That came out. So to me, the only 2 pitchers who are unavailable in my book are Michael Kopech and Lucas Giolito. Other than that, go win the game. If you think Cease is a good matchup, right back to him. He only threw 40-something pitches yesterday. The rain delay helps Cease, Tepera, and Bummer more than anyone. Yes, the Astros are going to start McCullers as a result of the rain delay. It was going to be the other guy. But I think it helps more White Sox individuals than anything else, because if Bummer and Tepera can pitch like they did yesterday, you could go Rodon, Bummer, Tepera, Kimbrel, Hendricks, or Bummer, Tepera, Hendricks, however it may work. But I don't know. I think Aaron Bummer and Tepera getting that extra day off, definitely a good thing.
Oh, big time. And those guys were dealing yesterday, as Vincent says below. Bummer was amazing. Tepera looked great. You know, it's great stuff to see. I will say the one thing that hurts us with the extra day is I feel like we lose a little bit of that momentum that we had, right? You know, I feel like, you know, this team was firing on a high, and I still think they are. And I still think that we have the advantage. But I feel like if this game was today, I think they might have had a little bit extra because, you know, I still feel it in my veins, Vinny. I'm sure you do. I can still feel it pumping through me, and I can't wait to get back tomorrow. I'm just hoping that momentum stays where it was, and I feel like it could, but that might be the only way that this rain delay would hurt us.
Can I make a counterpoint?
Yeah.
I agree with you, and like you said, I wish I can relive last night at least once a year for the rest of my life. That was one of the funnest nights I've ever had, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Ask me in 5 years what was the most fun, unless I go to a World Series game or something and it's equally as loud. But the only thing I'll say, we're lucky it's back at home after a rain delay, right? So they can recapture that momentum lost. And then there's no day off now in between games 4 and 5 if they force one. So let's say they recapture that momentum that you're talking about tomorrow, then you're playing, 24 hours later with that momentum instead of 48 hours later. So it could work out in their favor that way as well. So let's just hope that's the case.
I'm just going to say that,
man. I think
that was a 4-hour game. That was a 4-hour game. How late that
felt
went,
longer than that.
Longer than that, yeah. By the time that those players got home, it was a really quick turnaround into today. I'm really happy the rain came, gave us extra rest, and just imagine being the road team, having to come back for another game on, here in Chicago to face this hostile environment with the fans and all. I'm sure they want to get out of here pretty quick and get back to Houston because it's going to be a battle, and I don't think they're ready for it, quite frankly, to be honest.
Yeah, and frankly, I want a primetime Game 5 game against the Astros in Houston. I mean, I want every bit of that. But I don't want to look too far in advance. I want to look at tomorrow. Let's take it, like we've said from the beginning, let's take it one game at a time, and let's do this. And I know we're super pumped up. I know Vinny and I will be back at 35th and Shields tomorrow for Game 4 of the ALDS. I think a handful of other people that we know are going to be there. I'm drawing a blank at the top of my head, but we have a guest coming on in a few minutes. She should be here relatively soon. It's Alyssa Bergamini is going to be joining us. She is a stadium host for your Chicago White Sox, and she was doing a great job yesterday, keeping this blackout, keeping the crowd fired up. Exciting stuff. We'll get to her shortly. Before she comes on, I will play a video of a little video I took of when the blackout first started. Vinny, before Alyssa comes on, let's talk about that moment. They play this awesome video montage. It's getting everyone amped up. Then Lucas Giolito just pops up and he goes, "It's time for the blackout." Lights out. And then the whole stadium goes black. I mean, how awesome was that, Vinny? Because, I can't even describe in words how cool that was. The blackout was an amazing, amazing game. We could actually get back to this part of the conversation in just a few minutes, Vinny. I'm actually going to play that video I was talking about, and then we'll bring on our guest. So this is a little video I took right after the blackout, right when it was starting yesterday. And just to give you guys who couldn't be in attendance a feel for what this felt like, it was so energetic. Take a look at this video because I want to inject this directly into my... I mean, the energy was unmatched, and it was one of the coolest moments ever. It's hard to fully capture it in a video without being there. It was a sea of black. It was unlike anything I've ever seen before. And we have a special guest here who helped keep everyone fired up. Your stadium host from the Chicago White Sox, Alyssa Bergamini, joining us again. And how awesome was that yesterday, Alyssa? It was wild.
That was insane. I could not have drew that up any better. My voice is a little raspy from yesterday, and I've worked so many games that, like you said, this was so electric. It was so different than simply anything we've ever been a part of at Guaranteed Rate Field. It was crazy. I feel like hungover from literally yesterday, and I did not even drink. It was like the adrenaline of it all. We were like on this high, and then I came home at like a little bit past midnight. I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself right now. I cannot simply just go to bed. So I made a quesadilla instead.
That's a good alternative, but
Yep.
you know, you have this long game. We talked about the roller coaster. We're down big early. The boys come back. You know, what was that like, kind of riding that wave with everyone else? Because, you know, I don't know about you, but when Lori Legend hit that bomb to dead center, that place exploded. What was that like for you?
So the whole game for me, I'm so focused on where my next hit is going to be.
Sure.
And yesterday I had a hit in almost every inning, every half inning. So I was focused on where I was going to be at first, but I also wanted to watch the game. So just that whole pregame ceremony, I was not expecting all of that. Like, I do my game day rundown on the field. After I do that, I kind of get my own jitters out. And then they did that whole blackout scene. And even though I knew that was happening when it actually happened and everyone was so loud, I feel like people were fired up since that. So, you know, I'm doing all my hits first inning, second inning, and then you're like, oh no, here comes the third inning. And so again, like you were saying, the roller coaster, I was probably, I'm not kidding you, in 15 to 20 different spots throughout the duration of the game. So every spot I was like, oh, I don't think I like it here because we're not doing well. So I'm just going to move somewhere else. So that's how I was really playing off the game. And if I liked a spot and if my hit was there, I'm like, I'm going to stay here until I have to go to my next hit. So really, like the Larry home run, I was about to go on the dugouts and throw out the T-shirts in the fourth inning. So I just remember I was standing during that point. I was like kind of on the top of the concourse, so I could see everyone, and everyone was jumping up and down and screaming. Even the GSRs were going crazy. So just every inning was so different. And obviously later in the game was better. But again, like even the first inning, it was 1-0. Like we started out hot, and then it was a little bit more that second and third inning when I was a little bit more quiet, and we were like, oh no, let's not do that.
That's awesome. So as crazy as it was, like for the White Sox fans, for the White Sox themselves, got a little hostile there for the Astros players. You want to talk about how things were from your point of view with the cheater chants and people booing Altuve? Got a little profane towards the end of the game with the crowd.
Yeah. So at the beginning, when everyone was booing them as they took the field, when they were doing the lineup and Gene was announcing them, I was on the field, so I could not boo because I didn't want to be that visual person and boo, but inside I was booing.
Mm-hmm.
But then later on in the game, when people were saying like, fuck you, Altuve, whatever, like saying all these profanity and all these swear words, I was by a group of kids, and I'll never forget, they're probably 8, 9, 10 years old, and they were chanting along with it. And I thought it was so funny. And I know, like, I shouldn't be saying that that's funny that a kid is saying the F word, but they were loving their life.
Oh, it's funny.
I think the parents were like, whatever. Like, obviously, they brought them to this game. There was one Astros fan, and I want to say it was section maybe like 125, like something around there. And he just stood up. And he turned around and he's like, you guys call us the cheaters. You guys threw your own World Series. Like, seriously, that was from the 1900s, 1990.
Yeah, 1908 or
Nobody
something.
alive saw that.
Yeah, you know, seriously, none of us were alive for that. So then some other guy standing up, and he was, a White Sox fan stood up, and he was like, I remember my first beer. So it was actually really funny. And sometimes I could get mad about that stuff, and people were like, don't throw that guy a shirt. I'm like, I would never throw that guy a shirt.
Yeah, don't
Not
do that.
anything from me. But it was all, fun and games since we were winning at that point. But I think if the tables were turned, it would not have been funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that. And you had you posted something great on Twitter, a great sign from a fan today.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet him at all at the game yesterday, or did you just see that on Twitter afterward?
I didn't realize that he was on TV, so I was happy to see that he also got a lot of FaceTime on Fox Network. I was in the scout seats, and he was just holding a sign up, and I was like, "Hey, I want to give you this T-shirt. Can I take a picture of your sign? I love it." So I just took a picture, tweeted it out, and then I saw that he was the kid that was shown on Fox, and I guess they cut back to him, and he was falling asleep. That's why he's holding it like sleeping. I mean, it was seriously such a long game, so I don't.
It was a long game.
It was. And that was like the third most viral thing to go crazy from that game last night. I think we all know what number 1 is, but number 2 was definitely Mr. Wizard Man, Mr. Wizard Voodoo.
Guy?
Yeah, the guy with the cane.
Yes,
that guy.
Read an article on that.
There were articles, there were videos. Like this guy was all over Twitter and Facebook. People are texting me like, "You need to get the cane guy on your podcast." I'm like, I don't know how to get this older guy on my podcast.
I'm sure you could. Maybe after tomorrow, or when he had a lot of media attention today. I know he was on 670. Chicago Tribune went out and did a story on him. He has all these. Did you see the professional photos of him?
Yeah, and like his kids call him.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And all this stuff, like this. Yeah, we need this guy in our lives.
I love that he is also from the North Side. He's from Northbrook, I think
it was Northbrook.
Glenbrook, one of the Brooks.
Yeah.
So that makes it even sweeter that he's from the North Side, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm a Sox fan. My dad raised me as a Sox fan." And then he's just twirling his cane, and now I know he got tickets to Game 4. So
yeah, when the Sox put that on Twitter,
I need to see him tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a guy you want to have on the Jumbotron. We having him play the game on the phone where you hit the baseballs. We need that guy playing that game. He'll win. Yeah, he'll win.
Big fly.
Big fly.
That's my favorite promotion, even though I never know who wins because it's all the names up on the board, so I don't actually get to meet them. But I always try to promote it because I'm like, you guys can literally win 2 round trip tickets. All I do is play this phone game. And I know it's not easy because people tell me, they're like,
it's hard.
It is hard. I've played it once or twice.
I've practiced a few times.
Most of the time I don't even do it just because I don't want to get mad and not be good at it.
Yes. But I'm always like, just try. You're on your phone anyways. Just give it a go. Why not?
And here's Cane Guy for everyone that didn't get to see him.
I think his name is Tim Holt. I could be a little bit off on that.
Holt is definitely right for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of him.
Yep, me too. And the fact that his kids call him Gandalf is just the funniest thing of all.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I think it was on the Score today. They asked, like, where did you get that cane? And he was like, I got it in Wisconsin. It just looks good. And he was explaining, like, just all about the cane.
That's awesome.
Who would have thought?
Alyssa, I got to ask because my wife texted me during the show and she's like, please tell me, ask Alyssa, where did she get that necklace because I need it?
Oh, this is from boyfriend Matthew Rooney. He gave it to me 2 days ago and he's like, I know, obviously you're excited about all this. And I wore it yesterday. And he got me this one too. But I think I like, the White Sox one, we got to keep this one going. I'm wearing it tomorrow. I wish I could wear my same outfit from yesterday because I feel like that was all good luck.
Do it.
People know, they'd be like, this girl needs to add some more clothes to her wardrobe.
Honestly, you're not going to be the only one. You see this jersey right here? It's going with me to the stadium tomorrow, and it was there with me yesterday. Why would I not wear it? It's just a Moncada jersey, but it's the blackout jersey.
I'm not overly superstitious, but I feel like in scenarios like this, you are like, I have to do this right way. Catherine, I'll ask Matt where he actually got it. I know when someone was like, when they asked Matt, where did you get it? He's like, I just Googled it. So I'll get back to your wife on that.
Were you by any chance at the game, the blackout game in 2008? I know it was a while ago now.
I was not.
Okay.
I wish I was, but.
Me too. I'm just always curious for people who got to attend both and see if there were any differences or similarities.
Yeah. Some of the employees that I work with at White Sox that have been there for a while, they were like, oh, this is, I also worked in 2005 or 2008. I don't know. I just feel like now it maybe seems a little bit different just because of the rebuild. And hey, Matt, 1,000,000% wearing the same clothes tomorrow. Superstition. I think it may be just because there was more hype surrounding, this team. Not that it wasn't in 2008, but I just could tell from employees working there too. Like, think about just all these past few seasons working all of these 81 home games, and then you get to this. And again, like last night was just epic. It was so fun. I cannot stop watching videos on it.
Yeah, I've been looking through my phone all day doing the same thing. You just can't get enough of it.
Yes.
And I know you're getting ready. You got tomorrow. I know Vinny and I are both going to be there as well. How are you feeling about tomorrow?
I'm feeling good. I obviously would have loved today to have happened, but it would have not been great for us all to be sitting out there in the rain to begin with. We cannot control the weather. I'm sure that the players enjoy the game off. Like, they've just been on this grind. Like, who doesn't like a day off of work? Everyone likes a day off of work. And I think they are so electric still from yesterday. And it was a quick turnaround, from yesterday's 4.5-hour game to then being back at the ballpark. Not that it's, oh my God, it's so early, but still, it's a day game. So I'm feeling good. Rodon, he said in that one video, he was like, been waiting for this. This is all I wanted to see. So that's good to hear from your starting pitcher that he is excited. So I think if they're excited, obviously the fans are excited. And I think they felt that energy from us. Just from all the interviews, Tony La Russa is saying that he's just never seen something like that. And think about all the games he's managed. And even Dusty Baker is saying the same thing. So I'm feeling good. I'm glad that we're home tomorrow. And then I guess we're going to go back to Houston. Let's say that.
Absolutely. And in order to go back to Houston, they're going to have to beat Lance McCullers, who was just so good in game one. Me and Joe were talking earlier. We kind of think it's a better idea for the White Sox perspective to face him at home.
Yes.
Rather than on the road if you're going to face one of those elite guys. Yeah, I'm with you. So what do you think is going to happen with that? And Rodon versus McCullers, it's got to be so exciting to watch.
I'm just hoping the fans could boo the Astros again, because I think that got in their head.
So, it certainly looked like
just hope for that.
When Altuve was hitting, he looked like he was all out of sorts. And I know we always pick on Altuve. Yeah. There were other guys involved like Bregman and, even guys who are gone now like Springer and stuff. But it just seems like you're right. They definitely got in their head.
Yeah. There was even some guys sitting behind me, not even, White Sox fans, screaming things at Altuve that I shall not repeat because I'm going to be ladylike here. But I was laughing my ass off listening to it. And I swear Altuve could hear him because these were the scout seats and they were so close. So I've never been on an MLB team, but I can only imagine that getting in your head. And he's always one that's up to the plate and you're like, oh shit, like let's hope he just doesn't get on base, doesn't get a home run. He just is one to not reckon with. And yeah, I'm confident in Rodon. I think that is a good game 4 starter. Obviously McCullers beat us a lot in game 1, but I think this could be a good revenge game.
Yeah, these boys are ready for tomorrow. They're coming out hot. Keep those bats hot. There's been a little bit of, I feel like there's been a little bit of a shift with the narrative, and I just had to ask, we had a question in the chat. What do you make of the whole comments from Tepera about the sketchy stuff going on still in Houston? Is it still a distraction, or do you think their boys are going to quiet the noise tomorrow?
I hate seeing the comments now that the Astros are making and just saying like, oh, don't be, you could talk all that. Like it's giving them more motivation. And I hope that's not the case.
I agree.
So that a little bit, I was like, ooh, I felt like he wanted to say it though. And I feel like there were other MLB players that kind of backed him up without really, truly backing him up. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, once a cheater, always a cheater. Can we use that? Even though as I just mentioned, White Sox did that many moons ago, but that was, of course, a very different time. So I don't know if I'm happy that he said it, but like I was just saying, I think he wanted to say that. And he's a good baseball player, so he obviously can see what's happening. He's the one on the field. He can see, see and hear whatever he thinks he's seeing and hearing.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. You would certainly think he wouldn't just say it. Like, he definitely believes this, whether he's right or wrong.
Right.
Unless he's trying to get in their head, which I don't know.
I don't feel like that would be a good tactic, though. Wouldn't that piss you off if someone was saying you're cheating and then you're like, well, watch me, I'm just going to win?
Oh, yeah. If people thought I was cheating in
Yeah.
any walk of life and they thought I wasn't doing it the right way, but I knew in my heart I was,
Right.
then I'd be like, I'm just going to go do it 10 times better, especially
Right.
in your stadium. I'm
Right.
with you.
I mean, the fact that he was saying that it was just such a different ballgame from the 2 games in Houston to the 1 game here in Chicago, that is telling, and that is saying a lot. And again, he's the knowledgeable one out there. So I could believe him. I'm not totally on either side here, but I could, definitely see where he's coming from.
Absolutely.
We'll have to find out.
Yeah,
Don't want
definitely.
that would piss me off.
Yeah, no. It definitely helps. It helps raise the stakes. And
Yes.
let's be honest. It's going to be an awesome day tomorrow at 35th and
Right.
Shields. Everyone's going to be fired up. Alyssa's going to be pumping up the crowd. Eventually, she'll be tossing out T-shirts to the loudest fans. And most of all, that's right. Most of all, she'll be helping fire up everyone to get them ready to move on to Houston for Game 5. We're going to be positive. We're feeling it. Alyssa, before we let you go, anything else that you want to spotlight going on tomorrow, or any last comments before we let you get some rest before the big day?
And are we getting another playoff towel?
This one?
Yeah, I got mine handy too. We all got them. Love it.
Upside down.
Yep, upside down and
I
backwards.
saw a few when I was leaving the ballpark on the floor that I know people accidentally dropped. And if it wasn't for COVID, I would have taken them because these are precious gems.
You don't want to know the worst place I saw one.
Oh.
I think I'll just say I think a male Astros fan disposed of his in a place. Yeah. Not cool.
Come on.
I'm dead serious. I was going to take a picture of it and put it on Twitter, but I didn't want my bosses at Fanside to yell at me for posting pictures of urinals.
Oh my God. All right. Well, that one could stay in there.
Yeah,
That's
for real.
Yeah.
I guess what I can promote that I will be talking about tomorrow in my game day rundown. I'm sure you guys have heard if there's first game certificates. So it's usually for kids, like when it's a first game, for adults too.
Mhm.
But now they're doing first game playoff certificates. And you could customize. So if you have a nickname, you could put your nickname on it. I do have mine, but I left it at the ballpark so that I wouldn't forget it for tomorrow. But it's in section 159. It's called the White Sox Rookie Corner. So you just go up, say your name. It'll say the date, October. If you want to use the date from yesterday when you were there, or if you want to use tomorrow's date, whatever you choose. So that I think is cool because it's free and you could customize it. And it's a way to commemorate, your playoff experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's something that people don't know about that should. I'm going to be Beggar's Pizza Pub, lay it on thick, always talking about that place, Goose Island Elkhart. You guys all know about those places.
Oh, yeah.
So just hyping up all those areas, and I need everyone to bring the same energy that was yesterday. That is hard to talk. Especially that now it's going to be a day game, but I don't actually think people care what time of day it is. It's a playoff White Sox game. So if you didn't take off work and go to the game tomorrow.
That was my favorite thing I
did
heard all day today. I saw on your Instagram story, you just said, telling people, like, I'll take off work. You only
I had a few people message me, and they were like, I actually needed this because I was just talking about this and wasn't sure if I should do it or not. And they're like, I'm just going to take off work.
That's what we're here for, to help people realize, like, you're a White Sox fan. How often does this happen? This is the first time since 2008 that they're hosting a playoff game.
That's what I'm
saying. Like, we're hoping it starts to happen often.
Yeah.
But for right now, like, enjoy it. And I'm going to be pumping the tires all morning tomorrow. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
I know. And it's an earlier game. But I think it's all going to play in our favor and home field advantage. Let's rally exactly how we did yesterday. I keep thinking, I'm like, what day was I at that game? Oh yeah, that was just yesterday.
Yeah.
But it feels like that was like the whole Sunday. It didn't feel like a Sunday to me because obviously anytime we're there on a Sunday, it's a day game. So the whole day just felt weird. And I was ready for like so many hours. Like, so do I go to the ballpark now?
It did feel weird. Yeah. I realized it was Sunday when Gene announced it for God Bless America. I'm not even kidding. I looked at my brother who I was at the game with, and I was like, Oh yeah, it's Sunday.
Everything's been off. Even Thursday and Friday, I based my whole day. I'm sure you guys did too. My whole days around those games, and those were like off times too. I'm like, so that wasn't the weekend. Now we're here Sunday. Monday's a game. Wait, now it's not. Now it's Tuesday. The days just don't even matter. I'm just like, is it game 3, 4? Here we go, game 4.
Yep. Saturday was like the worst day of the week. It's normally the best. It was the worst by far.
I know, but at least you guys we had a lot of football.
Yeah, sure did. Sure did. Hey, aren't you kind of happy your Iowa Hawkeyes pulling out the big comeback, huh?
I know. People actually keep asking. They're like, that was such a good game. I'm like, I know, but I was so focused on Sunday, the White Sox game. I was having a hard time just totally enjoying that. I'm like, that's great. Go Iowa. But my allegiance is way more towards White Sox.
Absolutely.
That's more like, for me, I'm like, the more they win, the more games I work. That's my job. So let's keep that going. I want to pay them money still.
Exactly. And like 3 hours before the game started, you guys were put number 2. I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah. Little Midwest flavor in the college football ranking.
I know. We'll take it.
Absolutely.
And did you guys say where you guys are sitting tomorrow?
I will be in 153.
Okay.
Section 153, like the second or third row from the top.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and Vinny, I don't know where Vinny's
I'm
at.
way up high tomorrow.
You're
I'm sitting in 5 something.
Okay.
I don't even know. I got to look at my ticket. And I had never taken in a game at all from up there in my whole life. And I went up there yesterday and I was like, this is actually pretty cool.
It really is. It's a very good vantage point.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big screen is huge. So it's easy to, wherever you're sitting, watch from there as well, or watch plays, highlights, whatever, the scoreboard. I think I'm very biased, but I don't feel like it's one of those parks where you're sitting in a terrible seat. It's not like regular where you're like in front of a pole and you can't see anything. At least a guaranteed rate, you can be all the way on 500 in the right field corner and you can still see the game.
Exactly. The only thing I'm worried about, I want to get one of those playoff certificate things. I'm gonna have to have someone.
You could there's also on 500 level. It's behind the guest relations booth.
Okay, good to know.
Behind home plate.
So
good to know.
So you just go to the big gift shop up there, and it's just to the left.
Yeah, it'll say guest relations.
I'm for sure getting one. I know I'm way too old for that stuff.
No, are you kidding me? I have 2 already.
I love it.
I wish I had it with you, but you guys get the gist.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, the trivia question yesterday was about as easy as it gets. The answer was El Duque.
El Duque, yeah.
I think everyone in attendance knew that one.
Yep.
But all year they've been so hard.
Yeah.
I know. But sometimes with those ones, especially I don't ever tell the contestants the answers. I don't think it comes. I'm not trying to be rude or mean. It just doesn't come off as authentic.
Yeah,
I'll give hints here and there. And this one obviously was on the big board. So I think we were just like, pay attention if there's a question up on the board. And then there's also one tomorrow that's also about 2005. So pay attention to that too.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah,
Get ahead a little early.
Yeah.
Insider tip, guys, for tomorrow's trivia question.
Yeah.
Brush up on your 05 White Sox.
Yes.
But Alyssa, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. I appreciate you jumping on last minute. I know the game got canceled, and I'm like, Alyssa, can you talk about the blackout? That'd be awesome. So thank you.
Talk about all this stuff all the time. That's all I do. I just talk about it, live it, wish for it again.
Yep.
The game was postponed, canceled. Me and the Pride Crew game presentation team, we just went to Buffalo Wings and Rings. So we were splitting some beer towers at 11 a.m. We're like, this is fun. And then we're like, okay, we're all tired. Let's leave. We got a game tomorrow.
That's how I handled it. I was halfway there. I live in the northwest suburbs. I was halfway there. I'm like, I'm going home to take a nap. That's what I'm doing.
I know. Yeah. At least it was called. I think it was better that it was called how it was, as opposed to us all being in the ballpark.
Yep.
Using parking tickets, spending money on beer, drinks, and then heading home. So
yep, exactly.
We'll take that as a positive.
We'll save all the money for tomorrow, and all the good vibes. But Alyssa, again, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, we're feeling all the good vibes.
Go on.
I was just gonna say we'll save all the good vibes for tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you on the big screen, and let's bring home that win, and let's go back to Houston.
Let's go to Houston. I can't believe I want to go back to Houston, but yeah, we want to go back to Houston.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
good luck tomorrow.
One game at a time. Yeah, good luck.
See you tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again, Alyssa. All right, bye-bye. Go White Sox. Alyssa Bergamini, everyone. Make sure you give her a follow on Twitter at Alyssa Bergamini. Also, she's got a Facebook page and Instagram. Yeah, Alyssa is the best. I literally messaged her right after I found out the game got rained out today. And almost immediately, she's like, yeah, I'll come on. I'm like, great. And here we go. And she talked about it. And, Alyssa is the best of the best. And if you ever run into her, snap a picture. She is like the nicest person in the world. So, Alyssa, thank you from the bottom of our heart. We appreciate it. That, by the way, she holds the record. She's a 3-time guest on South Burbs Hitmen during our inaugural season. So, Alyssa, you are at the top of our guest list, and we always love you for it. So thank you for giving us so much time. Vinnie Parisi. I know Chris Gonzalez had to hop off. He's having some technical issues, but Chris, I know you're with us in spirit. But Vinnie, how you feeling now? I know we talked about it a little bit earlier. I cut you off before Alyssa came on, but what was that blackout feeling like when Giolito turned off the lights in the building? It was something special, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure was. I was very nervous going into yesterday, right? The last thing you want to do in baseball or any sport really that you're a fan of is see your favorite team get swept. There's nothing like getting a sweep when your favorite team is the one who does it. We've experienced that a couple times as White Sox fans, but when you get swept, it's just the worst. You don't win a single game. There are teams in last place that'll have technically won more games in October than you. Like, I think going into yesterday, the Cubs and the White Sox each had 2 wins in October. That tweet would have surfaced if they lost from some hater. Like, you just don't want to see that. And so after yesterday, they played a very good game, and they gave you confidence that they can do it again. And then if they do it again and you go back to Houston, then you never know what happens, right? A winner-take-all game 7. You could have one pitcher per inning. Grandal can run into one. Vaughn can run into one. An unlikely hero. You can have a Gavin Sheets something. The crowd can influence a bad call. Literally anything can go wrong or right in a one-game elimination. So that's what makes Wednesday so intriguing if necessary. But I'm not quite as nervous anymore because it's like you either get beat in 4 games to a team that's superior to you, or you go on and beat them, and then you'll like your chances against. Since Alyssa came on, the Tampa Bay Rays have tied the game, so we don't know who they would play at all in that series anyway. But you just gotta take care of your business, and we'll see what happens. So, and the White Sox aren't the only ones that take care of business here at the Barroom Network every now and then. We got to take care of some business and get paid. So we would like to send you to a quick commercial break.
South Burbs Hitmen will be right back. Burbs Hitmen.
That's right. We are back from our quick commercial break. And as you saw there at the tail end, you can head over to deepdishtees.com/barroom and help support all the great shows on our network. You can get one of these sweet South Burbs Hitmen flat brims, snapbacks. Vinny's got his bar down hockey, which Vinny, by the way, happy Hockey Eve to you. Hockey returns tomorrow. And Vinny and Bar Down, Vinny and Joey are going to be covering hockey all year long for you. They covered it all off season long too. I mean, if you don't know Vinny, he covers all sports, but he loves hockey too. So make sure you help support what we do, whether it's South Burbs, Bar Down, Bear Football, Dan and Aldo Bear Their Souls, the Barfly Tailgate Show, Fantasy Football Goon, Greg Gabriel, Mike North Advantage. Any little bit helps us do what keeps us doing what we're doing. So we appreciate any support you can. And as you guys may or not have seen on Twitter, our friend Ozzie Guillen, the Ozzie Guillen and Ozzie Guillen Jr., big supporters of us as well. Ozzie has worn this hat on the Being Guillen show / podcast. Here's a quick clip of that because, we should probably advertise that. So here you go.
I will obviously be a Man U fan now. I have a team in England. And then Ozzie's, do you like your hat? I guess.
Yeah, I love it. Nice. By the way, how you be excited about some guy you even know go to play somewhere? When is your mom's birthday?
Yeah, so make sure you check out La Vida Baseball, and that's where you can see Being Guillen. I'm also seeing Being Guillen sometimes on NBC Sports Chicago lately, so make sure you support those guys. The Guillen family is a bunch of amazing guys. You got Ozzie Jr., you got Oni, you got Ozzie. They're just all around great dudes, and keep an eye on them because they might be sporting some more South Burbs Hitmen swag in the future. So get one to yourself, get a shirt, get a hat, get a sweatshirt. Help us do what we do, and we love you for it, whatever you can do. And if you can't give anything, we just appreciate you tuning in most of all. But Vinny, now that we got our sales pitch out of the way.
I was just going to say, why wouldn't anyone want to dress exactly like Ozzie Guillen? If that guy says jump, I'll say how high. Like, I love that guy more than I love myself, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. He brought a World Series championship to this town. You got to wear what Ozzie's wearing, so get yourself a South Burbs Hitmen podcast. A hat. And I'm with you. Those guys are on NBC Sports Chicago, it seems like, all the time. Whenever I go in Shy Sox Bar and Grill, there's Oni, Ozzie, and Ozzie Jr. on the TV just yapping away, and I love every second of it.
Yeah, I'm convinced that I could literally watch Ozzie Guillen every second of every day in a reality show, and I would totally be okay with it.
Oh, me too.
So, Ozzie's the best. I could watch Ozzie replays of him getting ejected all day long too. That's some great stuff. He needs to be a manager again in this league. But I gotta say, I'm not mad because I love having him doing the pregame because it makes me laugh so much. Shout out to Ryan McGuffey and Chuck Garfine and the team over there working with Ozzie. And it's just amazing stuff that's put out. Slavko Bakovic, who was on the show with us as well. That crew over there puts together an amazing pregame and postgame show. So, no, and I'm not trying to kiss ass or anything. I generally love the pre and postgame. The only thing I don't love, Vinny, is that theme song. Da 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 da. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. We agree on most things. Pretty 99% of things. I don't think I've ever had a disagreement with you until now. When I hear that song, I get fired up. I'm like, it's White Sox post game time. Unless they lose, then I never want to hear it ever again.
Well, see, it's not that I don't like the song.
Overplayed?
I think it's just burning in my ears. I think it's a little overplayed, and maybe it's time to get maybe a different song, but I
agree with that because there are other things that they do that are cool as well that you just have heard so many times, like the Lucas Giolito guaranteed rate commercial. 2018 worst player majors. Yeah, like we've all heard that commercial 1,000 times. I can't wait. And hockey fans are gonna love this. I can't wait to tweet this once the white baseball season's over for the White Sox or just in general. They made a guaranteed rate hockey commercial with Nathan McKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche.
Stop.
And I can't wait to share it with White Sox Twitter.
I can't wait for you to share it either. The way I describe my hate for the pre and post game song, our buddy Travis here says he loves it. Yeah, and same thing with Vinny. I agree with Vinny. It's like when the commercial was Scoop, there it is, and your NFL team is getting whooped.
Nothing gets me going like that. That's different. And
well, that one hits on a different level. That one below never gets old to me.
Yeah. And they played Whoop There It Is by Tag Team, like the original version.
Yeah.
They played it like 2 or 3 times at Guaranteed Rate Field yesterday. I don't know if
they did.
Vincent was there or not, or if he caught it, but
yeah, he was there.
It's the Cubs home run song, no matter who hits it, which is kind of annoying. But I mean, a banger is a banger, no matter who uses it. For your viewing pleasure, you'll all thank me later. Go on YouTube and type in Scoop There It Is sequel. They made another commercial, and it is fun. Oh yeah,
all right. Funny. I gotta do that because all I can think now is chocolate peanut butter cookie dough.
Oh yeah, and they're making
Scoop
an ice
cream. It is. Oh, okay.
And you can guess what it has in it.
Chocolate peanut butter cookie dough.
Yep, this is gonna become a singing podcast.
I love it.
I'll sing all day long.
Yeah, it's just we're feeling good. We're looking forward to tomorrow. Travis, sprinkles, yes.
Sprinkles.
But what I was going to compare my hate to the pregame show is, have you ever heard of the Broadway musical Wicked, Vinny?
Yes, I have.
So there's a couple songs in there that are pretty famous, Defying Gravity, whatever.
Yeah.
I worked in Broadway in Chicago at Wicked selling T-shirts for I don't know, probably 4 years, maybe 4.5 years, right? For multiple days, having doubles all day, listening to the same songs over and over. That burns my soul still to this day. Any Wicked music, any Wicked song, Defying Gravity is probably the only one that I can somewhat tolerate. But that's my equivalence of the pre and post game show on NBC Sportsnet,
that's
or
hilarious.
Sports Chicago. But that's how I feel about it. Your buddy Lauro in the chat, Vinny, is talking to you about fantasy hockey. Are you doing fantasy hockey, Vinny?
Well, so I have my league that I have 2 leagues. I have a league that I've been in for, I want to say we're going into year 10 with the same 10 dudes over and over again. And then I have a dynasty league with people from all over the world where we sign each other to contracts and stuff like that. But if Laura wants to do a barroom league, I'm down. The problem is we're running out of time. The season starts tomorrow at 6:00.
Yeah, I wouldn't know the first thing about fantasy hockey. I know I enjoy watching hockey, but maybe next year I'll after a full year of bar down, I'll be ready for a fantasy hockey league. So
I think that's
we'll think
fair.
about that for next year. It's required listening for all South Burbs Hitmen listeners and viewers because it gets you ready for hockey season, whether you're a Hawks fan or not. So, and then Travis in the chat says, "Send me an invite if you do." All right, Travis, and
if
Travis
he sets
said
up a league before tomorrow, I'll do it. I'm going to the game, but I'll auto draft and still win probably.
Well, you drafted our barroom fantasy football league from your seats at the rate, didn't you?
I sure did. And what am I 3-1 or 3-2, something like that? I don't know. It's a decent team.
Impressive stuff. Yeah, and we've talked about a little bit of everything so far on the show today, and I know didn't really have a concrete format other than we wanted to talk about the blackout, which was amazing. Vinny, I actually do have a couple photos of blackout day, of the course of the day. I figured we could take a look at some of these pictures.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure if you saw the guy with the Houston Trastros sign. It's actually really funny.
I didn't see him in person, but yeah, I definitely saw that picture. And I just can't believe not a lot of people talked about the fact that this is their first time playing a road playoff game with fans in attendance. We attended the first.
It took a toll.
Oh yeah.
Altuve specifically, for those of you who don't know, he went 0 for 2 with I think 2 walks or maybe 1 walk in this game. I'm trying to
2 walks.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he didn't get a hit. He's hard to pitch to because he is very short.
Yeah, and I'm not short.
He's a good hitter.
Me and Altuve are the same height, but
are you really?
I'm pretty sure Altuve is like 5'7", 5'8". He's not as short as people think. Like, he just looks really short on television because he's standing next to a 6'6" catcher, and most umpires are pretty tall. But like, if he were standing in a crowd, you really wouldn't think he's that short. But he's hard to pitch to relative to other pitchers because, like you said, the strike zone is smaller. And if you put it in a good spot, he's going to hit it to Pluto because he's a really good baseball player. So I'm with you. He's hard to pitch to.
Yeah, he definitely is. And
he looked rattled at points yesterday, though, especially in the later at-bats of the game when the drunkenness really started to settle in at Guaranteed Rate Field.
Yeah, they're going to be ready. The crowd's going to be ready, nice and drunk for him tomorrow, too. Yep. So, Jose's in for a long day. Hopefully we can, make his life hell. Jose Altuve, that is. Of course, Abreu's, we want him to do well. But I was walking in yesterday, Vinny, and I took this picture. I sent it out on the South Burbs Hitman account. And naturally, all of our Twitter followers in the Twitterverse zoomed in in this left-hand part of the screen, there is one guy in like a white / plattish shirt. And everyone was like ripping this guy apart. I forget. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone really quick. I got so many tweets about this yesterday. Well, anyway, someone was like, "Oh, you got to teach him a lesson for not following the rules. You got to beat him up." I'm like, "Oh, come on, we're not going to beat him up. We'll just hurt him a little bit." And they're like, "Oh, you got to blind him. At least you got to blind him and show him who's boss." I'm like, "All right, guys, come on. There was way too many people in the park yesterday that did not get the memo." Yeah, some people on Twitter were kind of, razzing me, saying that like, "Oh, that's typical Sox fan, worried about the jersey, not the product on the field," which I think is total BS.
Yeah, I mean, is that the case for Penn State's whiteouts or Iowa? I don't know if anyone caught the Iowa game. They happen to be playing Penn State, but
I did catch the Iowa game.
They have like certain sections that wear black and certain sections that wear yellow, and it looks like a pattern in the crowd. And like, I know in hockey, the Winnipeg Jets do a whiteout, the New Jersey Devils do a red out. Like, there are just so many different themes. So like, get out of here with that jersey crap. That's Cub fan talk, just ripping on the White Sox for caring what other people think. It's like, dude, that's what you do at stadiums.
Yeah, and the stadium was hopping. There's a lot of people, as Vince says. The Gate 5 line went all the way to the red line at 35th, which is true. People are asking what the promo is tomorrow. I believe it's still a black towel, Vinny. I have not heard official word, but I would be surprised if they're not handing out more towels tomorrow. I have a feeling that would probably be the case for all playoff games if we are so lucky to have more at home.
This one has Tim Anderson and Eloy Jimenez on it, so it'd be pretty sweet if we're able to, get a different players. One. But I mean, if they give us two, I'll just remember that I went to 2 DS games. Like, awesome.
Yeah, and Travis commenting on the people with the jersey talk, saying that's hating. Yeah, absolutely, totally.
I saw a guy in an orange Matt Forte jersey. I'm thinking to myself, how do you wear an orange Matt Forte jersey when they're playing the Astros, who are famously orange?
Somebody at the game in my section yesterday, Vinny, was wearing a white Justin Fields jersey.
I mean, at least wear the blue one. If you got to wear a Bears jersey, like, at least wear the blue one.
Yeah, Frank in the chat says to mess with the Astros, do an orange out tomorrow.
I love Frank. He's got some clever ideas over there. I agree. That'd be really funny. Can you imagine if we just all wore orange?
I don't think I own anything orange, to be honest with you, Vinny.
I'm trying to think of what I might own that's
you
orange.
Would have to have a Flyers jersey that's orange, right?
My friend Dylan certainly has some Flyers gear. I don't think maybe an old Bears t-shirt.
Yeah, probably one of the old Urlacher days orange shirts.
Yeah, and like the Islanders don't wear orange; they have orange in their logos. But yeah, I'm not sure I have too many things that are orange. I'd probably be able to pull off pink better than orange. To be honest with you.
Yeah, we'll do a pink out.
I'm down for a pink out. It is October after all.
It is October. Maybe for Mother's Day next year in the ballpark, we'll do it. We'll try to get a pink out going. We'll talk to Alyssa. That'd be cool.
Oh, I'm down for that.
No one's done that to my knowledge. So
no, I've seen it at college.
Yeah.
We've had it at NIU before. Just everyone wear pink. And then you go out to like the local Walmart and find like one of those $5 pink Hanes t-shirts.
There you go. Or you just put your plain white t-shirt in the washer with like a red shirt and, see what happens. Tie-dye action.
Now you're speaking my language. How can I get the most out of the laziest? That is definitely my language for sure.
Yeah, I would probably just buy a pink shirt, but I totally I would make my shirt pink on accident. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough.
But we've talked so much about the White Sox. I know we're all ready for tomorrow. I appreciate. Sorry, Travis. Bart Simpson. It. Yeah. Okay. But we're over the top excited for tomorrow. Vinny, you and I will both be there. We're bringing the fire. Looking forward to seeing Carlos and whatever else. I know we talked about it a little bit. I could see Lance Lynn potentially coming in a relief role in this game. Vinny, you mentioned it earlier. What do you think? What, 2 innings? I'd say probably out of Lance.
Yeah, Lance's career numbers against the Astros are not good, but also Lance is good. So I trust Lance. And Lance has been our guy all year long. I'm almost in ride or die mode with our guys. Like I'll go down with Lance Lynn as long as I'm not going down with like Ruiz or like somebody who pitched 17 innings the day before. Like, as long as it's not a clearly stupid idea, I'll ride and die with my guys. You put in Lance Lynn and he gives up a bomb to Altuve, I keep saying it, ride and die. Based on a prediction, I certainly think Rodon will start the game. I'd love to see him cruise 4 or 5. And he did in his last start now. It was a Reds lineup that didn't have Mr. Castellanos or Mr. Votto in it, but it's still a major league lineup with good players like Jonathan India and, guys like that. So we'll see how Carlos does tomorrow. The thing about Carlos is when he's on, he's got swing and miss stuff. And I think swing and miss stuff is how you beat the Astros. Someone
great against them all year.
Yeah. And so someone like Lance Lynn is a power pitcher. Like, he wants strikeouts. He's not necessarily Dallas Keuchel in terms of wanting them to hit the ball, but Lance throws a lot of fastballs. That's where he gets a lot of his strikeouts from. So Carlos Rodon, though, he's more of a strikeout pitcher that mixes in the junk and then he'll reach back and throw 98 every now and then. That's the kind of stuff that beats the Astros. So based on a prediction, like I said, Rodon, maybe see a little bit of Lynn. I'd go right back to Bummer and Tepera. And then see what you got.
They were so
Kimbrel.
good yesterday.
Yeah. See what you have with Kimbrel. I'll always have faith in Dirty Craig. Like, you made the trade for him. He's an all-time legendary closer. He's probably second or third greatest closer of all time. If you look at his number, like, you don't believe me, go look at Craig's numbers. He's got over 1,000 strikeouts in less than 500 innings. Like, dude's a monster in his career.
Yeah.
And Liam Hendricks. I mean, he's literally Bobby Jenks 2.0, maybe better.
Yeah, I agree. And Sox in 5 and the Australian accent that he did yesterday.
Great.
Just makes me feel great inside. I did want to ask you, Vinny, we talked about Carlos and you talked about his last start against the Reds. Were you concerned about his dip in velocity? Because I believe he was hovering around 90 in that game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think he touched 93 at one point, but that's still like really low for Carlos.
Yeah. So does that concern you? Do you think the time off helped him there?
It would concern me if you told me going into that Reds game that it was going to happen. But after the way I saw him handle it against the Reds, kind of makes me think twice about questioning him because he was able to get it done. Carlos knows how to make an adjustment. So when he's not getting 96, 97, 98, and perhaps even faster than that, he doesn't crumble. A lot of guys who rely on velocity like that, if they're not hitting it, they might crumble. And I know the Astros are a different story. Lineup's insane 1 through 8. Their only bad hitter is like their all-world defensive catcher. So, it's a great lineup. Los has his work cut out for him, but if anyone can make an adjustment, it's him. And I saw Frank in the chat mention the second inning. All 3 games so far has been the White Sox starter looking no-hitter good in the first inning, like 9 or 10 pitches, 3 strikeouts. And then in the second inning, all 3 of them had a bad game or bad inning. So if we get Los out of that second inning and get him into the third, see what happens from there, and then roll into the bullpen as needed, take care of business.
Let's take care of business. And I know originally today, Vinny, the game, we obviously had different starters in place. The White Sox in today's canceled game were 1.5 point favorites, according to Las Vegas.
Yep.
Tomorrow, they are also considered I lied. They are 1.5 point underdogs tomorrow, which I find interesting, but the McCullers edition would probably do that.
Yep.
Over under set at 8.5 for this game. I imagine if the White Sox are going to want to win this game, they're going to have to get the McCullers early. How do you see this game shaking up? We kind of got to the point where we're going to do our predictions. So what are you looking at for tomorrow, Vinny?
Yeah, it stinks seeing them be dogs. They were favorites going into today, as you mentioned. How do I say this? The underdog has lost all 3 times, which is not good, but that's just not how baseball works, where it's a lock that's going to happen. I agree with you on getting to McCullers early. You might remember a game against Houston at Guaranteed Rate Field. I want to say it was either late July. No, it was around August, I want to say. McCullers was on the mound. It was a Friday night. First 2 pitches of the game were doubles by Anderson and Moncada. 1-0 White Sox. Then McCullers went on to retire 13 straight batters. And the Astros piled on runs as they do. They're going to score runs tomorrow. Newsflash, spoiler. I'm ruining the movie for you. The Astros are going to score tomorrow. That can't happen this time. If you pounce on them early, keep it going. Keep the bats moving. 1 through 6 is unstoppable normally. Even in the games they lost, they were getting hits. Luis Roberts batting like a billion. Jose Abreu's looking good. Their worst 2 hitters going into yesterday, I pointed this out to Joey. The worst 2 hitters going into yesterday were Moncada and Grandal, and they were the 2 hottest hitters going into the playoffs.
Yep.
But then both of them got going yesterday. Moncada was awesome. Grandal had the bomb. He had a near bomb. And from my seat, it really looked like it could have been a home run until it wasn't. And, keep 1 through 6 rolling. I'm not sure your opinion on Gavin Sheets versus Andrew Vaughn. We'll probably see both.
Leary has been the hotter hitter, that's for sure.
Yeah, but Andy came through big yesterday with his
big hit yesterday. Yeah, pinch
hit. Leary legend obviously is going to play. And I take heat for this. Cesar Hernandez would be playing second and batting 9th for me. And the reason is
he should be his glove.
His glove and Mendick's glove are similar, right? Both good defensive gloves. Cesar's a better hitter. He's got 24 home runs this season. At minimum, he has a chance to run into one. More than, say, I don't know even who could be playing. I would even say more than Vaughn.
Yeah.
Or maybe not Sheets, but Sheets isn't giving you elite defensive second base. When the ball's hit to the second baseman, the play is going to be made. So that's kind of my prediction on the whole thing tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I wanted to highlight a stat that my buddy Steve pointed out to me. I went to the game with my buddy Steve and my coworker David yesterday. Steve texted me today because he knows I'm doing the show. He goes, White Sox pitching has 13 walks in 25 innings. 8 of those walks have gone on to score. White Sox starters specifically, 10 walks in 9.2 innings. Out of those 10 walks, 7 have scored. So as Larry says on the screen, we cannot walk Astros tomorrow. That needs to be this team's goal. That needs to be, I know no one wants to have walks, but I think it needs to be a big focus tomorrow. I think you have to be somewhat aggressive with these guys, not overly aggressive. Like I would argue Lance was over aggressive in game 1, but you have to avoid the walks because the number of guys that scores that they kill us. Let's be honest. And Vinny, it looks like you had something you wanted to respond to that.
Yeah, it sounds like cliche or like duh to say, oh, you can't walk guys. But it's especially true with the Astros. When you have 1 through 8 that can get it just a base hit. They killed the White Sox by 1,000 paper cuts in the first 2 games of the season or first 2 games of the series. And you know the saying in baseball today, ball go far, team go far, but not if you're walking, guys. Then it doesn't matter. I do believe they would have won game 2 if Giolito didn't walk the first 2 batters in the 5th inning. And Garrett Crochet came in and allowed a base hit, or I think it was a double, and they tied the game, and from there it was a disaster. If Giolito doesn't, you just can't walk guys. You can't be walking guys, especially on a team like the Astros. Those guys know how to run bases. They know how to have timely hits. And yeah, I'm with everyone in the chat ripping on the walks. If I'm Carlos, I'm doing what I can to pound the strike zone tomorrow. Make them beat you. Don't beat yourself.
Yeah, and he's going to have a lot of movement on his pitches, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Los is going to have some nasty stuff tomorrow, and let's just hope he's got enough arm to get us through a good chunk of the game. I feel pretty good about that, and I can't wait personally. But back to my prediction, I'm with you, Vinny. I do think that this game, I think they're gonna jump on McCullers early. I think they're probably gonna. I think it's gonna be very similar to yesterday in the terms of they're gonna score like 1 run in the first and be threatening to score, but they're only going to get 1. And then it's going to go on over the course of the game, dink and dunk here and there over the first couple innings. I think it's going to be a relatively low-scoring game compared to last night, but still over in terms of over with the bookkeepers. 8.5 is where it's set right now. I look for the White Sox to win this one 5-4. Liam Hendricks knocking the lights out to save this game and head to Houston. I'm taking my chances on my White Sox tomorrow. I'm feeling pretty good about it, Vinny.
Yeah, I like that prediction a lot. I'm going to go very similar to yesterday. I got 10-6 Sox.
I like it.
Giving up 6 is not great, but the Astros are going to score. Got to outscore them. Got to outpitch them, too. I need to see Bummer from yesterday tomorrow. I need to see good Los. We've only really gotten good Los this season. It's just been whether or not he can pitch physically. And I don't know. I just think tomorrow's the day they get to McCullers because we're going to help them get to McCullers.
I love it, man. I feel it in my bones. And most of all, I just want to see the look on Dusty. Well, I can't say I can't see the look on Dusty Baker's face, but I could see it in his eyes. I just want to see that, and I want to see that energy drained out of the Houston Astros player's face with the dread of having to go into a Game 5. And let's be honest, if this game ends up being, it would be on Wednesday, it would dominate my day. I'd be so darn excited all day long. So let's get there first, though, Vinny. You and I are both going to be there tomorrow. We're fired up. We thank everyone for tuning in. Especially our guest, Alyssa Bergamini, who jumped in last minute after the cancellation to talk about the blackout experience and what's coming up tomorrow at Guaranteed Rate Field. You are a class act, Alyssa, and we really, really appreciate all of your time. Everyone in the chat room, you guys have been great. Vince's prediction, 4-2 White Sox, Carlos going 6. I would certainly love that. If you have any predictions here in the chat, get them in before we wrap the show. We're about to get there. But Vinny, any last thoughts? We'll get the shout outs here in just a few minutes, but any reflecting thoughts before we dive into our day of blackout baseball tomorrow?
Yeah, if I'm the Sox, I'm bringing it all tomorrow. Leave the tank empty and then see what happens in Game 5. The Red Sox are 90 feet away from winning the series. If you're the White Sox, it's almost got to motivate you. We have a chance. We played well against Boston this year. The Rays was pretty even. They split 3-3, but the White Sox, they played well against Boston this year. And this is your chance. You can do this. It's not unheard of for a team to win 2 in a row. The White Sox did it 1,000 times this season.
They sure did.
So, go out there with Los. He's been so good all season long. His numbers are like Cy Young good. He's not going to reach the innings. So, and we'll see if he's able to avoid the fatigue and the arm soreness and strike them out in bunches, because that's what we need to see. It'd be nice to see the base paths a little more empty than usual tomorrow. That seems to be what's helped killed the Sox in the first 2 games, at least, and even for parts yesterday. So hit the ball too. Ball go far, team go far.
I mean, I love the mindset there. Let's just make contact. Let's get guys on base, and that's where it all starts. I saw someone in the chat, I think it was Vincent Tassona. Yeah, it all starts with Tim Anderson, to be honest. I think if Timmy has a good day tomorrow, I think the White Sox win. You know, I hate to put it all on one person because that's not the case, but you know, Timmy getting on base, leading things off the right way, it's going to make a big difference here. You know,
MLB record for most hits in his first 6 career postseason games. 16.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Sure is.
And we're getting a bunch of predictions here. We'll get the predictions quickly. And then there is one hot topic we didn't talk about yet, and that's White Sox Day. We'll get to that in just 1 second before we wrap. I'll let you speak to it, Vinny. But we have our predictions coming in. Travis, 8-7 Sox. My dad, 8-5 Sox. Love it. And then Larry, actually, one more. And actually, one more thing we didn't talk about is that Grandal move into the baseline. It's just, to me, it's very reminiscent of the AJ drop third strike in that Angels series. Obviously, it didn't cause as much hubbub, but let's be honest. This guy knows how to play the game. You know, did Yaz do it on purpose or not? Yeah, he might have, but you can't prove it from the video. And it was a smart baseball play. Vinny, I don't know where you land on it, but I thought it was a really smart play from Yaz.
It was smart. If they would have called it either way, I wouldn't have been surprised. If they would have called him out, I really wouldn't have been too mad about it.
Like, still would have won the game.
Yeah, he was out of the baseline. His elbow did lean up a little bit, but it's hard to say there was an established baseline at the same time. So I get the call either way. The call on the field was safe at home, so obviously they're not going to overturn it or anything like that. It pissed Dusty off, which is always funny. Mm-hmm. And although there were people in the crowd like, toss him. I'm like, no, don't toss him.
No, don't toss him.
And the Red Sox advance to the American League Championship Series. They will face the winner of the Houston Astros and the Chicago White Sox for a chance to go to the World Series. Back to Grandal.
Wow.
Back to Grandal.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. But yeah, I'm with you. About Yaz. You know, it is what it is. We still were going to win the game, so I'm not going to hang myself up on it too much.
Yep.
Before we get out here, I wanted to ask you. Laura was asking in the chat. Actually, I lost it, and you know they wanted to ask if we saw John Cusack in person. No, I did not see John Cusack, but I know it's been a hot topic. Him and White Sox Dave getting at it. You know, John Cusack's a Chicago fan. You know, he roots for the Cubs, roots for the Sox, he roots for whatever.
For whoever's good.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true, but you know, he's an actor. He's got a public face. People see him. I don't necessarily fault him for it.
No, I don't fault him for it. I fault him for taking offense to like a joke.
Yeah, like, I could see how White Sox Dave could be taken.
But have you seen White Sox Dave's banned list? Just off the top of my head, a couple people that are on White Sox Dave's banned list. Domino's Pizza for messing up Sierra Santos's order. Wheel of Fortune for not having the White Sox on their all Chicago puzzle. Barack Obama for wearing a Cubs jersey when they won the World Series. They're like, it's just clearly a joke. And, you know, he's even got like coworkers of his on it. I think Mike North is on it, if I remember correctly. And so John, the original, this is the thing a lot of people don't understand for the most part. Those are all people that are like on it to be funny. The original point of the banned list were people who were like called Moncada a bust after 60 plate appearances, or Giolito after his first career start didn't go too well. Like he's a bust. The rebuild is a failure. This is all like 2017. That was the original point of the banned list. And then guys like John Cusack started making it for like wearing a Sox hat, even though he's a Cubs fan. So it's all sometimes taken out of proportion, but the whole thing is definitely funny. The video of them getting into it has like 2 million views on Twitter now. So, I mean, I'm entertained by it.
And for some reason, John Cusack blocked Dave Portnoy. Today
Yeah, Portnoy got blocked. That's
makes makes no sense.
So funny. Well,
but you know,
his own, I guess.
Yeah, it's. I can't wait to see who yells at John Cusack tomorrow. You know, I'm assuming he'll be at the game. I don't know. Maybe not after all the shenanigans.
A picture of him wearing a Cardinals hat did surface today too, which I thought was just so funny because it feeds into White Sox Dave's narrative just a little bit.
Sure.
So,
yeah,
you know me, I'm all about a good laugh. Whoever makes me laugh the most is my new favorite.
We'll see whatever celebrity sightings we have tomorrow. Maybe there'll be another, celebrity feud for us to talk about.
I did Joe Mandel and Vinnie Parisi. That's the two celebrities we're going to see tomorrow.
Yeah. If the day I start referring to myself a celebrity is the day that I am no longer humble. So I shall never refer to myself as a celebrity. But
I'll do it for you.
Oh, stop. The only time I ever been confused for a celebrity is when somebody thought I was Seth Rogen and wanted my autograph one time.
I would have signed it. Oh, I would have signed it. I got recognized at a Sox game and a Cubs game this year. That was weird.
No shit.
That was weird.
That is weird. If anyone wants an autograph, I'm happy to pass them out, but that's really weird. I can't even imagine anyone asking for an autograph. So
yeah, at this point, I'd rather just buy someone a beer. Like, hey, thanks for listening.
That's
like
that's
if I
where
ever
I'm
got
at.
to if I ever got to 100,000 followers, whatever. I'd be cool with the autograph thing. But for right now, it's more like, hey, thanks for listening. Here's a beer on me.
Yeah, I personally would feel really strange signing an autograph, but that's normal for certain people, but maybe not for me. But I agree with you, Vinny. I'd love to buy our listeners a drink or sit down and shoot the shit over a cocktail or a drink in Chai Sox Bar and Grill. So Vinny and I will be around the area tomorrow. If you want to reach out and hang out or say hello, I'll be there with my wife, Catherine. Vinny, I'm assuming you'll be with Joey in the upper deck.
Sir. Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're fans of the network, we'll be around. Extra motivation to win this series, though, are these sweet Division Series champion hats. Wow, they're cool. I want a White Sox.
Are they snapback?
That I can't tell. If we sign off before, I'll let you know.
I hate snapback hats so much. I don't know why. I'm like the only person. And the reason is I got my awesome Division Champs hat. I have such a massive dome. I have a massive dome. I get the one clip.
Yep.
And then when you put it on your head, it kind of goes like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you look like you're in third grade.
Yep. I get that. Totally. I might buy a Red Sox one if the White Sox don't make it. That's how cool these hats are to be.
Wow. That's them strong words.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Yeah, Travis makes a good point in the chat. Next season, we need to set up a game y'all be at so I can come up. Yeah, we will absolutely have to do that.
No question.
And maybe we'll get a little get together. Local
beers on my friend Dylan.
Hole.
My friend Dylan will buy you beers.
Yeah, sure. No, but Dylan's like, what did I sign up for?
I didn't ask his permission. I'm telling him.
Yep. And then Travis says he's the same way. It's got to be fitted. Yeah, the only snapback hat that I wear, and this is not I'm literally not saying this because it's branded South Burbs Hitmen. You could see it on my head. This one actually fits me. And I got 2 snaps on the back.
It's because Aldo knows all the big-headed guys work at Barroom Network because our brains are just so huge. So he orders them a little extra big.
Dude, it's literally funny you said that. Who was I talking to the other day? I was talking to my buddy Steve I went to the ball game with, and I was like, dude, I have such a monster head. I wear 7 5/8. He goes, dude, you got the brain to fill it out, man. I'm like, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Big head, big brain. That's what I always say. Big brain Vin, big brain Joe.
That's right. We bring the brains to the White Sox conversation, and we're hoping that we have another show next week with great news. We'll probably, let's be honest, we'll probably do an emergency pop-up if certain things happen. We'll figure it out. I'm not going to say what those things are because, I don't want to jinx anything, but we're both going to be there tomorrow. We're looking forward to ALDS Game 4. Los on the mound. These boys ready to go, Vinny. I'm just ready for it, man. We got to get to bed because we got to be up early to get to the park. and ready to rock and roll for Game 4. We've reached the shout-out portion of our show, Vinny, so I'll let you take it over first. Obviously, Gonzo had to take off, technical difficulties, but Gonzo, we're thinking of you, and we will definitely talk to you in the coming weeks. Same thing with Steven Zimmerman, who couldn't be with us tonight, but obviously both those guys rooting for the White Sox as well. But Vinny, what do you have for shout-outs, buddy?
Yeah, I'm hoping that this isn't the last time we have White Sox games to preview on the show, but just for, to be proper, I'll shout out everyone I attended a game with this season. There have been many of you, and every single person I've been to a game with this season holds a very special place in my heart, and that's you, obviously. I can't thank you enough for the time.
Likewise.
I accompanied you in a game, and we had a great time. I know there's going to be many more years of this to come.
Yes, sir.
My parents, my brother Joey, my friend Dylan, my cousins Nick, Frank, Mark. There are just so many people I've been to games with this week. I'm not going to go on to name every single one of them. We'll be here forever. But, I appreciate it, and it's been a great time. Gonzo, of course. I missed the one with Zim, which kind of bugs me, but maybe we'll get him in town next summer.
Sure.
So, yeah, anyone who attended a White Sox game with me, and if you're listening to this and you go, wow, I didn't attend a game with Vinny this season, what an a-hole I am. Well, maybe it's my fault too. So let's change that next summer and make a memory.
That's right. And let's be honest, you're probably going to be at the game tomorrow. Go find Vinny or go find myself, and then you could say you attended a game with us, and we'll do it again next year. We can promise you that much.
Absolutely.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention this, because I should have did it when Gonzo was here, but Vincent DeSone called it up here in the chat room. Can we mention how I got my first White Sox win of the season last night? That's right, listeners. The curse of the Bambino has been broken, so you can no longer blame anything on me. The White Sox have been freed of the demon, and now I like to think of myself as a good luck charm.
Absolutely. There's no other way you should view it. You are the man. You're undefeated in the postseason, and your first win of the season couldn't have come at a better time. So, curse of the Bambino Joe, more like curse of the Bambino. No.
I like it.
You're out of here with that.
It's like you signed me up for that stuff, man. I got to get those dad jokes in my back pocket anyway. So
yeah, I'm not even close to being a dad yet either, and you're a lot closer than I am. Which shout out to you and the fam. But we're gonna have to. I'm gonna teach you dad jokes. I got them covered.
My wife actually for Father's Day this year got me a book of dad jokes. So
I would probably laugh way too hard at these things.
Oh,
I would.
They are excellent, and I'm just working on memorizing them. So
very good.
I'll bring a few of them to our next show, regardless of the outcome, because let's be honest, you always need a good joke.
Yep.
But yeah, so I got my first win, so I feel good about that. Huge shout out, of course, to Alyssa Bergamini for joining us tonight. Fantastic guest as always. Looking forward to seeing her at the park tomorrow. Vinny, I'll give you a huge shout out, man. You were a great addition, about a quarter of the way through the season. And we've never turned back. I love talking ball with you. You fit in like a glove, and I made a great friend out of the deal as well, too. So looking forward to attending many games like you talked about in the upcoming future. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome, man. And same thing for the other two guys that can't be with us right now, Zim and Gonzo. Really appreciate your guys' partnership and brotherhood. And we're looking forward to having more shows this season. So regardless of what happens, we'll be doing big off-season shows too. That's right, Sox and 5. I got to do it in the Aussie accent. Sox and 5. That was a really bad one.
Sox and 5.
Crikey, that's a beaut. I can't do a good Australian accent, but we'll have some shrimp on the barbie to celebrate if we have to. Your buddy George wants to know if you've come off the ledge yet. I'm not sure.
No, because of the Sox. I'm not really nervous anymore. They're not going to get swept, which was my number one fear. But no, I'll never be off the ledge. Until they're eliminated or win the World Series, I'm going to be crazy. So you probably follow me on Twitter. If you don't, at Vinnie Parisi, you'll see what I mean. I'm a nutcase.
Yeah. That's the glory of being a fan of sports. It's a high and it's a low at the same time. So we're just ready to get this dub tomorrow, so we can't wait for that. To finish my shout outs, huge shout out to my lovely wife, Catherine, my beautiful wife. I love you. My Great Dane puppy, Maverick. He is literally the best dog on the planet. And of course, our little girl who's on the way, joining us in mid-January. We love you to pieces. And Daddy's hoping that we can have a long White Sox playoff run to talk about you growing up with. So looking forward to that tomorrow. My wife's attending her first playoff game tomorrow as well. So looking forward to that. Maybe I'll get her one of those playoff certificates. I don't know. We'll see. Also, a big shout out to my Aunt Rena. It's her 60th birthday today. Happy birthday, Aunt Rena. And we're hoping to bring a White Sox win tomorrow. Looking forward to another great year.
Happy birthday, Aunt Rena. I hope she knows 60 is the new 30.
That's right. 60 is the new 30.
Yep.
And that means 33 is the new 15, which makes me a young man.
You do have a kid on the way. Let's chill on that.
No, that made it a little bit weird, but
that's what we do here.
Nonetheless, and of course, the last shout out goes to everyone that joined in the chat room. There's been so many great combos, pop-ups. It's just, our chat room is so much fun. If you're listening to the podcast version and you haven't had a chance to watch a live show, hit up our live show. We go live every Monday night, barring if there's a White Sox playoff game. Monday nights at usually 7:45. Tonight we did 8 p.m. Central. And you can hop in the conversation. Your comments get featured on the screen. Head over to our YouTube channel. If you are listening to the podcast, you can check out the video version. And you can look at my, beautiful face alongside handsome Vinny and really, really handsome Steven Zimmerman. Chris Gonzalez fits in there somewhere too, but, I'll let you decide yourself. I'm just mumbling now about being funny and ugly at the same time, but nonetheless, check out our stuff. We appreciate it. Give us a subscribe. And we talked about it earlier. Head over to deepdishtees.com/barroom. You can support us. You can buy a bar down hockey shirt or hat, South Burbs Hitmen swag, any of the great shows in the network. We appreciate it. Coming up, I believe tomorrow there is Dan and Aldo Bare Their Souls. I'm not exactly sure what time. Originally, we were going to go live tomorrow because of the game today, but we did a little switcheroo this morning. We'll see exactly what happens tomorrow, but stay tuned to your Twitter feed. You got the Mike North Advantage coming up this week. Of course, you've got Greg Gabriel talking football. You got Fantasy Football Goon on Sunday morning. Same thing with the Barfly Tailgate Show. There's so many great shows on this network. Mikey Betts, Bar Down Blackhawks.
Hockey this week. Let's go.
Hockey premieres tomorrow. Cross Down Crosstalk. Vinny, you guys are Thursday, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many shows. I feel like I always forget one show, but everyone is amazing. Don't let me forget any other shows. Head over to, whether it's YouTube, give us a subscribe. Any podcast avenue, subscribe to the Barroom Network. We would really appreciate it. And that's really all I got for shout outs. Joey, if your brother's in the chat, Red Sox are waiting for a Sox versus Sox matchup. Let's make it happen. This is really all we could ask for, Vinny, is if we were to get there. If I would have talked to you in the offseason and say, hey, the Sox are going to play the Red Sox in the ALCS, I think we would all be happy about that. So let's make that happen. Let's win 2 in a row, and let's do it. For the South Burbs Hitmen, we're fired up. I'm Joe Mandel. That's Vinny Parisi. For Chris Gonzalez, who can't be with us right now, and Steven Zimmerman, who had some other plans tonight. We are with you, White Sox Nation. We're fired up. We're ready for another blackout tomorrow. And let's be honest, we're ready to beat the Trastros, take it back to Houston. And as our buddy Liam Hendricks said yesterday, Vinny, what did Liam Hendricks say at the end of that game?
Sox in 5.
Sox in 5, that's right. Let's go get that dub tomorrow. We'll be back. White Sox all the way. Feel it in your hearts. Feel the energy. It's time for the blackout. Lights out, and let's go White Sox.